everyone, it's Hayes, and in today's video we are going to be discussing, again, the new trailer that Gloob released. So I know I already made my normal video on it, the voiceover video. However, when I make those videos, they're very much like a, I guess like a first impression video of what I immediately think after I've watched the trailer, like about, I think I watched that trailer about 5 times before I started recording the voiceover, and I took screenshots. So it's very much like a first impressions. And you know, because I like to get my videos up quickly when, you know, something is released, I don't always have that much time to really think about it. Just sometimes something comes to me, sometimes things don't come to me, and as you know, I'm very quick with spoilers. I am Lightning McQueen, the physical embodiment of Lightning McQueen from Cars. My middle name is Speed. My middle name's actually Victoria, which means victory, so pretty much the same thing. It's the same thing. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to take some of the trailer, not all of it, because I feel like some of it is just self-explanatory. We're going to re-look at some of the scenes from the trailer. And before we start, okay, Happy New Year. I am filming this on the last day of December. You'll probably see this on the 1st or 2nd day of January. And yes, I know the Christmas tree's still up, okay, I know, I love Christmas. We're putting away all the Christmas decorations today, so I said, Mum, can I just film one more video with the decorations up and then I'll take it down. So as soon as I'm done filming, it's going. However, we have a new addition to the family. We have a little pollen. Oscar, if you remember from my videos from, I don't know when they uploaded, but Oscar, if you remember, we did like a little quiz together and stuff. For Christmas, they, amongst other things, they got me this blind box that had a Kwame figure in, and mine had pollen in, so I didn't have time to make pollen a Christmas hat. Next year I will, but right now, no. So now we have a pollen to join the family. I'm so happy. This is really off topic, but now we have a pollen. So, that trailer. Very dark, well not very dark, but for Miraculous, dark. It was dark for Miraculous. It was not like, I don't know, like the new Saw film kind of dark. But in terms of Miraculous, it was quite dark, very angsty. You know, I apologise to Gloob for being so mean about them all last year, I guess now. And apparently they took that personally and were like, okay, and now we're gonna make you cry. Thank you very much. So the first kind of scenes I want to discuss are the scenes that I'm pretty sure are from episode 23, KURO NEKO. Now we don't know much about this episode, as in what it's about. We don't have a synopsis yet and we don't have a trailer just for that episode, but I'm pretty sure the Akuma villain is a little boy stood next to Ladybug when the cat runs into his arms. Pretty sure that's who's getting akumatized into KURO NEKO, means black cat, that makes sense. I think maybe something like he loses his cat, gets upset. Maybe, I don't know. Could be something like that. I don't know who it is. I don't believe we've seen them before. I don't think they've had lines before. I did hear that the voice actor for Samboy was in the studio recording lines, so maybe it's the same voice actor they are using since they're both child characters. I could definitely see that happening since it doesn't seem like we're getting Samboy again, so that would make sense. And as for Catwalker, is that his actual name? I'm not sure how I feel about that name if it is the actual name. But as for Catwalker, who is it? And I think the most feasible people right now is that it's either Adrien or I think it could be someone from the future. So let me explain. A lot of you have referenced in my comments. This is why I kind of like want to make this video, because I've had more time to think about what I think myself, but I've read through the comments, seeing what you all think, trying to collect it all together into a load of theories. A lot of you talked about Cartoon Apocalypse's video, so I went to go and watch it, and I think he's come up with a really plausible theory, is that he rescinds his Miraculous, and then Ladybug obviously needs another Cat Noir, so she goes to Adrien. And he obviously needs to disguise, otherwise she's gonna know that he was Cat Noir. So kind of like what Alia is doing with Rena Furtive and Trix, is that Plag is using Adrien's need for a disguise and is changing the outfit to that thing. And I think it's completely plausible, especially since we've got that clip released by the Ukrainian voice actress Marinette, where we see the script. So Plag's in Marinette's room, we see the script, and one of the lines from Marinette is, "I'm sorry he's in pain. The problem is his love." Like, obviously I'm not sure what the rest of the scene is referring to, but I feel like Plag has either gone there on Adrien's behalf, like Adrien said, hey, can you go and talk to her, you know who she is? or Plag has just done this, is like he's seen how much pain Adrien is in. We saw him be quite concerned for Adrien in Rocketeer and Wishmaker. Plag has just gone to Ladybug of his own accord and told her what Adrien's feeling. But Marinette's just like, well, yeah, I am sorry he's in pain. But when she's saying that, it kind of sounds like she doesn't feel like it's her fault. I understand Marinette hasn't been doing any of this to hurt him, but she has been doing, you know, we've all done things in our lives where we've never intended to hurt someone. You know, by doing something we haven't intended to hurt someone, but it has hurt them. You know what I mean? Just because you haven't intended to doesn't mean you haven't hurt them, which is obviously what's going on here. Marinette isn't mean-spirited. I don't believe she'd intentionally hurt Cat Noir in any way, shape or form really, but obviously it is hurting him. But I feel like that's a sentence that's going to be, I'm sorry he's in pain, but it's not really an apology if you have to have but in there. Just, no, it's not. And then she's like, the problem is his love. Now I see a lot of people going back and forth about this, but here's where I stand on this issue. A lot of people are like, well, he's really pushy with getting Ladybug to like him, and personally, just my opinion on this, please feel free to disagree. I want to know all your thoughts on what I'm going to say in this video. But I've never really felt he has been pushy. Like, Ladybug has known pretty much since the beginning how Cat Noir feels about her, and Cat Noir has known since the beginning that Ladybug doesn't like him back. And unlike other guys who probably would be more pushy and try and push her to go on a date with him, I wouldn't say he's ever really done that. Anytime she's given him a boundary, like in Glaciator 2, he's listened to her. He can't help how he feels. You're still allowed to be in love with someone, even if they don't love you back, even if they hate your guts, you're still allowed to be in love with somebody. Or whatever, you know what I mean? You can't help how you feel. So I feel like it's really unfair of her to say that. Any boundary she's given him, he has completely respected. And like, he's well aware that she's in love with someone else. In the first Glaciator, right at the end, he ends up taking her to like all the candles where he'd set everything up for their date. She says like, there's this boy I like. And whilst that probably did make him sad that she likes someone else, he was fine with it. So the problem really isn't his love. He just doesn't like being ignored by you. And all this time, like when I do the screaming sessions, a lot of the episodes I'm doing at the minute are older episodes. A couple of weeks ago we did the Heroes Day finale, the season 2 finale, we did both of them together. And the way Ladybug and Cat Noir act in that episode, like such a solid team after the other three get akumatized when they're in the sewers and he says, it's just me and you against the world, my lady. Let's go back to what's always worked, a duo. And I was like rewatching the episode for the screaming session, like, Cat Noir knows first and foremost just how important being on a team together is, and it's just, the problem is not love, the problem is you ignoring him, but you just can't see it yet. However, one other thing to point out, so one of my subscribers, Jemana, hi, thank you very much for sending me this, on Instagram, they sent me, so if you remember from the trailer, so Adrien takes off his ring, there's like some sort of kind of like pillar or spire behind him, and if we cross-reference it with the little clip released by the Ukrainian voice actress for Marinette, where Marinette is surrounded by all the heroes and Cat Noir has just arrived, there's that what looks to be the same spire behind him. So it seems that Adrien rescinds his Miraculous outside in the open, which is a bit odd because first of all, how is he going to get down from the roof? Ladybug will have to turn around and see him unless she calls one of the other heroes back to do it. Just a thought, but you know what I mean, like that's what's going to have to happen. But it seems like, assuming that happens in KURO NEKO, that's what those two scenes are from, since we did know what the voice actress was reading. It had the 4023 production code on it, which I'm pretty sure means season 4 episode 23. It means he rescinds his Miraculous right at the start of KURO NEKO, because I'm pretty sure that timestamp was rather early on in the episode. It seems the episode might start with an Akuma fight and then he rescinds his Miraculous to her at the end for whatever reason. Not 100% sure why though yet, because one thing that is throwing me about why he hasn't said anything to her previously is in Ephemeral, he revealed himself to her, and then obviously she eventually revealed herself back to him, which was the episode previously. And obviously I know they don't remember any of that anymore, but why didn't he confront her then? Was it because he knew it was Marinette and he didn't want to waste his chance? If he started arguing with her, she might not reveal her identity to him. Okay, I can understand that reasoning, and I also understand they had limited time in the episode to do everything. Okay, fair enough. But I do find it a bit odd he would do it the episode immediately after, when in the previous episode he did find out who she was and he just decided not to say anything to her at all. I don't know, but anyway, it seems like Adrien at the start of the episode resents Miraculous on the roof of whatever that thing is, and then obviously Ladybug probably takes Miraculous home. She has that conversation with Plag, and then an Akuma battle starts. She's like, I need a new Cat Noir. She gives the ring to Adrien, and he obviously needs that new kind of disguise. And then after the battle, she realises how much she loves her own Cat Noir, the original Cat Noir, so she takes the ring back from Adrien and asks Plag to go and return it to him because she realises how much she's missed him. You know, when you don't have something, it makes you realise just how much you miss them. So I can understand from that reasoning, and we have seen clips of Cat Noir in Risk and Strike Back from the other stuff plus I've released, plus some of the other stuff the Ukrainian voice actress has released, so we do know we have Adrien as Cat Noir how he normally is in the finale for definite, so we know he does come back even if he uses a disguise to be Cat Noir in episode 23. And this would also kind of explain the kiss we see at the start of Risk, the kiss on the cheek I mean. So, end of KURO NEKO, I would assume Ladybug sends Plag with the ring to go back to, obviously she doesn't know, but to Adrien, for him to be Cat Noir again. Maybe she says, can you apologise to him for me, or can you like ask him to come and meet me and I can apologise to him properly. Maybe that's how the episode ends. And from this point on she starts to value Cat Noir more, so at the end of whatever they've done, which is at the start of Risk, I would assume it's just the end of an Akuma battle we're seeing. They're all grouping together, they all go off, so Ladybug goes to them individually and collects their Miraculouses, and she's just going to say goodbye to Cat Noir, and she kisses him on the cheek to say, hey, well done, thank you, you're amazing, you're wonderful, because she realises how much she does need him, but he's still kind of salty about it, hence why he doesn't look all that super happy with her. I have heard another theory about this being an upgraded suit, and I don't think so, just because it changes the entire appearance. Like Ladybug's upgraded suit is a slight change to her hair, her hands, her waist and her feet. It's not a complete change. I doubt they do that for Adrien when they can't even give him pyjamas in the 100th episode of the show, you know what I mean? If they were going to give him an upgraded suit, they probably just change parts of it rather than all of it, plus his hair, plus his mask, plus everything, you know what I mean? They change absolutely everything, so I don't think it's an upgrade. The only thing that's kind of putting me on the fence that this is Adrien is because he did such an awful job as Aspic. Now I know that Ladybug has no memory of all the times he did Second Chance, okay fine, fair enough, she doesn't remember anymore, but she obviously know he failed, and she saw how exhausted Zas was when Adrien detransformed, so she knows he did a terrible job as Aspic. So as much as she likes Adrien, maybe not because it's Marinette, but maybe she'd be like, maybe he's not the right choice. And like I said, I feel like the other possibility for this, the other biggest possibility, is that it's their son from the future. So Winnie, one of the directors for the show, had said a while ago in a tweet, I don't think I have a screenshot of it, that we were going to see a new character from the future. So new as in we might see Bunnix again this season, but it's a new character from the future, someone we haven't seen. And if you remember this image that I don't even remember what episode it's from, the kind of like art around one of their children is kind of green. He has a green theme and this character has green hair with a ponytail. I don't think Adrien would suit a ponytail either. Please say this is not Adrien just for the ponytail. It's not for you, Adrikins. Please don't do it, love. Plus, as well, if this really is Adrien's son, that would stand to reason why they do look very similar, because they have like a similar face shape, similar features on their face. And also the costume is quite familiar as well, in that the shape of it around the shoulders and the claws on the hands, but it is very similar to Cat Noir's costume, so assuming their son from the future is aware that his dad was once Cat Noir and Adrien passes the ring onto him to protect Paris when he gets older, it would stand to reason, in my opinion, that he would kind of, when he transforms for the first time, would base the costume in his head off what his dad once wore. Now, the other option for who Cat Walker is of course Felix, because again, he also looks like Adrien. However, I genuinely don't think Marinette would give the Miraculous to him. Like, no, he's only been in 2 episodes, she's only really met him twice. Her first impression of him, absolutely awful. And the second time, in episode 9, Daddy Agreste, he wasn't in front of her anyway. He didn't really come across as a horrible person. He probably seemed fine in her eyes. She helped to rescue him, she was fine with it. But I doubt she trusts him. I don't see a physical reason why she would give Felix, of all people, the Miraculous. I don't see a reason why. It just seems odd. Like, I'd like to see him with the Miraculous in the show, but right now I don't feel like he could be trusted. With a cat Miraculous, which is extremely powerful, I don't see a reason why it would be Felix right now. However, so we do know at some point, whether it's in KURO NEKO or in one of the finale episodes, we do know that Adrien does rescind his Miraculous, and I'm kind of anxious about how Ladybug would feel about Cat Noir giving it up. Again, he did it in the New York special, and whilst it was a dire situation and he felt really annoyed with himself, he felt like he betrayed Ladybug's trust, stuff like that, I am a bit anxious that she's gonna start to think he's not trustworthy because at the first sign of trouble he just ups and rescinds his Miraculous, do you know what I mean? So I'm a bit worried about that on this front, you know what I mean? So I'm a bit unsure what to think, but it definitely does seem Adrien rescinds his Miraculous, but it also looks like he gets it back for the finale. Now, speaking of the finale, because I'm pretty sure this scene was from the finale, we have to talk about the scene of Ladybug crying on Adrien's bathroom floor. Now, when I made my video, I was like, where is she? I don't recognise this place. Turns out it's Adrien's bath. I'm just an idiot, but in my defence, we hardly ever go in Adrien's bathroom, so was it a surprise I didn't recognise it? No. But anyway, she's definitely in his bathroom. But why is she in there? And a lot of you were saying in the comments, oh, it looks like she's holding his ring. I have watched this thing on the slowest speed possible on YouTube. I don't think she's holding anything. Maybe I'm just blind, I have terrible eyesight, hence the glasses, but I don't think she's holding anything. It just looks like she's holding herself because she's just breaking down so completely. She needs, you ever had like a really bad panic attack, you just wrap your arms around yourself to like try and feel some sort of comfort because no one else is around. That's what it looks like to me. I don't think she's holding anything. She's holding nothing apart from herself because she's completely breaking down. Which is very, very sad. And again, I understand this is the consequences of her own actions, but I do feel bad for her. She's quite obviously still scared of Cat Blanc, hence the nightmare in Senti Bubbler, and she was, you know, pulling away from Cat Noir to stop Cat Blanc from happening, because although she doesn't remember the events that led up to Adrien getting akumatized in Cat Blanc, she does remember their fight when she tried to get the Akuma out of him, and she does remember that he knew her name. So that has made her scared to confide in him, so she's pulled away from him to stop that from happening, but instead all of this has happened instead. She was trying to save them both and in turn save the entire world by pulling away from him, and she wasn't trying to be mean about it. Again, I don't think she was intentionally trying to hurt him, but she has done, and whilst these are the consequences of her own actions, she wasn't doing it to hurt him. It's really hard. I just feel bad for both of them. I understand how Adrien's feeling, I understand how Marinette's feeling, and I'm just altogether sad. I probably watched that trailer about 50 times now and I'm just like... sadness. Emotional damage. Emotional damage! I'm just... no. I can't do it. So she is obviously extremely, extremely upset. So I'm wondering, will she get akumatized? However, when Marinette is upset, they're never really, like only 50% of the time an Akuma seems to come. She was very upset at the end of Truth and very upset in Gang of Secrets. No Akuma whatsoever. However, in episodes like Zombie Zoo and Ladybug, an Akuma did come for her. So it's just like, she only like gets threatened with akumatization when it's convenient for the plot. The rest of the time Marinette can get upset and she's like, oh no, no Akuma today, no Akuma. Like Shadow Daddy was taking the day off the day she gets upset. Like, okay, whatever, fine, okay. So that's kind of leading me to believe if it's meant to be part of the plot, then yeah, she will get akumatized. But if it's not, then we'll just be allowed to sit on Adrien's bathroom floor and cry for however long she likes while someone else gets akumatized instead. However, we do need to discuss, speculate why/how did she get there in the first place? Why are you crying on the bathroom floor of the person you are in love with? What events led you up to there? So, and I think she maybe could have found out that Adrien is Cat Noir and he is trying to give his Miraculous up to her. So we all know the description of the finale. So Marinette risks revealing her identity to stop Adrien from leaving. Okay, right now without more context that makes literally zero sense, but okay, whatever. So what if she goes to his room as Ladybug, so comes in through the window. So she comes in as Ladybug to try to convince him not to leave, and honestly I can't think of another reason why she'd be in his bathroom in the first place, if not to convince him not to leave. And he's like, "Ah, I'm glad you're here, here's my ring, I'm going away for a few days." They get into a big argument because he revealed his identity he wasn't supposed to. Adrien isn't happy with the way she's been treating him. All the things just coming to a head in maybe this one argument together. And then his dad or Natalie or the bodyguard comes to the room and Ladybug goes to hide in the bathroom and starts to cry because she realises she's completely lost him. However, she doesn't have the ring, like I said. I'm pretty sure, I'm like 98% sure she's not holding anything. However, that 2%, I have terrible eyesight. So maybe I'm wrong. However, it doesn't look like she does have his ring, so perhaps not all is lost. And I hope that scene is the end of Risk, because if that scene is the end of Strike Back, I will not be held responsible for my actions. I hope it's not the end of Strike Back. I know it's got to end on a cliffhanger, but not that kind of cliffhanger. I'd rather it be more bittersweet series 3 kind of end than emotional heartbreak damage. So I'm not even joking at this point. I wish I was. Someone told me the other day in a video I was being too dramatic about being traumatized. I am not being too dramatic. I meant that with every single fibre of my being. This show is traumatizing. Let me tell you about the season 3 finale, besties. I was sat in the library half an hour before I had to go to work. I worked as university note takers before the pandemic. So I was in the university library. I also attended this university and I was studying Mandarin for a Mandarin class I had that night. B texts me, she's like, "Hey, new episode," sent me the link. Was in Ukrainian, obviously. No subtitles. Can I speak Ukrainian? No. Can I? Did I watch it anyway? Yes. So I watched the full thing on the silent floor of the library. So you are not allowed to make any noise. You have to be deadly silent or you get thrown out. I sat there and sobbed the whole way through in silence, watching this thing in Ukrainian, had a panic attack in the toilets afterwards, then had to go to work, then had to go to Mandarin class. I don't remember the rest of the day because of how traumatized I was. I know I went to work, I know I went to Mandarin class, and I know I went home, and I know I went to sleep. Anything else? Don't remember. I can't tell you what my Mandarin class was on that day because of how traumatized I was. I'm not being dramatic. I am unfortunately being serious. This show, why am I so emotionally attached to a show for 10-year-olds when I'm 25? Who knows? But anyway, and I do feel the only thing that could make Marinette cry like that is Adrien. Plus as well, in the Plus trailer, we saw a very quick clip of Marinette in her bedroom. She had, so in episode 9, Mark and Nathaniel had drawn those, like a storyboard, I guess, and she seemed to have one of them that she flipped up in the air, and she seemed to be pretty frustrated. So she's like, I have to act before he leaves, I have to save him. That's what the whole concept of those storyboards was about saving Adrien. Plus as well, like I said before, we know the season ends on a cliffhanger, so maybe it ends with her finding out that Adrien is Cat Noir. But at the same time, I'm also kind of like, Cat Blanc and Ephemeral have shown us twice now their message was essentially, you're not getting the reveal until we defeat Daddy Agreste. They cannot be together in this universe until you've got his Miraculous back off him. So unless they accomplish that in this finale, which we all know it's called The Last Attack of Shadow Moth, that title does lead you to believe they're going to defeat him. However, I feel like it's also misleading. It could be literally like he loses one Miraculous and is no longer Shadow Moth, he's back to being Hawk Daddy instead. You know, they get one Miraculous back. It could be like, it could mean, yeah, they do defeat him flat out permanently, but I also think it could be misleading that they only get one Miraculous back, so no, he's no longer Shadow Daddy. He's back to being Hawk Daddy. Just a thought, just a thought. That's what Ephemeral and Cat Blanc told us. So part of me is like, yeah, partial reveal, end the season on a cliffhanger, and then the start of next season we see Marinette actually over the course of a few episodes getting to grips with knowing Adrien is Cat Noir in real time instead of her just doing it over the matter of a couple of minutes in Ephemeral. And don't get me wrong, I feel like they showed it better in Ephemeral, but I feel for the actual reveal, I want to see that development over several episodes where Marinette learns to love Cat Noir. Like, I know we don't know how much time passed in Ephemeral from her finding out who Adrien was and then her revealing herself. It was kind of misleading. Like, it could have been 3 days, it also could have been 3 months. We don't actually know, they didn't tell us. So I'm not sure how much time passed exactly, but I think I'd like to see it more in real time. However, again, like I said, they've kind of told us now several times in the show, you're not getting the reveal until Gabriel is gone. So I'm on the fence about a partial reveal. Do I want it to happen? Of course I want it to happen. I want the reveal to happen in every single episode, even though I know it won't. But, so yeah, I'd like that to happen, but I'm not 100% sure it will. I don't know. I'd love to know what you think of that, besties. And also we have that shot of Adrien punching down next to his bag. And I think if it is Adrien, you know, he's sick of secrets, he's getting frustrated either with Ladybug or his dad or both of them together. However, the location that takes place in, I don't recognise it. It could just be somewhere else we haven't seen before, like the interior of another building, possibly. But could it maybe be on the train? As we know, Adrien and Felix look very similar. They look the same once they do their hair. But maybe it could be Felix. He's on the train, which has a white and blue colour scheme. That thing, the bag he's on that he punches, is white. Could it be Felix once he realises the Miraculous he has on is fake and he gets frustrated and punches it? I'm not saying it couldn't be Adrien, but I'm saying it might not be Adrien. I don't know, what location do you think that happens in? Because I am unsure. To me it's the train because of the colour scheme. I can't think of anything else with that colour scheme. Could it be Adrien's room? Maybe, but Adrien's house tends to be more like an off-white / grey rather than stark white. Chloe's hotel is more of cream, the school is more cream, pretty sure he's not at Marinette's house. They don't have a lot of white or cream unless it's in the bakery. He doesn't like it's the bakery. Why would it be in the bakery? I don't know. I feel like it's on the train, but I don't know, and it might be Felix. But again, it could also be Adrien if at the end he really does have to go with Lila. Maybe, maybe. And speaking of Lila, the hug. Why? I just really, really hope it's Felix. The past few days, when did this get released? Tuesday night, today is Friday. Every single day, well, every single moment really since I saw that, I was like, I hope you are Felix and not Adrien. Like, if it is Adrien, I'm struggling to understand why he would let her hug her. Like, let's just assume for a minute that it is Felix. So Felix, he knows enough about Adrien. He knows he's a nice person and that he would probably accept a hug of someone who is his friend. And he more than likely knows that Lila goes to school with Adrien and would assume, unless Adrien has told him otherwise, that they are friends. I can't see why Adrien would ever have told Felix what's going on with Lila. I'm not sure if they have that kind of relationship. I'm not sure how often they talk, but I can't see why Adrien would have told Felix about how much he dislikes Lila and all that he's done. So I feel like if it is Felix, he's like, okay, Adrien goes to school with her, they're probably friends, Adrien will let her hug him, I will let her hug me. Because that's what Adrien would do, and I'm pretending to be Adrien right now. Okay, however, if this is Adrien, I cannot think of a good reason Adrien would let Lila hug him. Even if he finds out Marinette is Ladybug and she's the one who's been making him upset, even if he doesn't find out that she's Ladybug, he's been still feeling very upset by the way she's been treating him, or even if he's just upset about his dad sending him away with Lila, I still don't feel like any of those things would make Adrien accept a hug from her. I don't have any theories. Well, I'm pretty sure it's happened in the finale episodes. It just doesn't seem like we're getting to see Lila until then. And I have some things to say about that, but that's for a separate video on Lila and actually the overall writing of this season just in general. But it doesn't seem like we're seeing her until the finale, so I'm pretty sure it's from Risk or Strike Back. But why it happens, how it happens, why he lets her, and why she's okay with it as well, because she knows how much Adrien doesn't like her. As we saw in Ladybug in the previous season, she knows he doesn't like her. Wouldn't she be suspicious if he suddenly hugged her? I'm struggling with it quite a bit, not just because the idea of her hugging him makes me feel physically sick, but struggling with the why. Why would you let her hug you? I cannot think of a solid reason. He doesn't like her, even if he's upset with Ladybug and upset with his dad and upset with Marinette and upset with everybody else in the world. Why would he go to Lila of all people for comfort? He'd get more comfort by jumping in the Seine, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, he wouldn't go to his dad either. And speaking of which, last point of the video, last part to discuss anyway. So Shadow Daddy, or rather Daddy Agreste, bangs the coffin case. I definitely, from the expression on his face, I don't think he was intending to do that. We all know Daddy Agreste, he has never skipped arm day in his life. His hands, made out of steel, decimating tablets in Optigami. He is so strong. So strong. Incredibly strong. So I think he bangs the glass case because he's frustrated, and I think it maybe could happen in Risk. So he bangs the case because he's lost again, he's really frustrated, and then he looks in horror as he's seeing what he's done. I'm not 100% sure how that would affect Emily's state. I don't really understand what would happen there, but he's obviously horrified with himself, so I think it maybe could happen at the end of Risk. And then the episode afterwards, Strike Back. Obviously I know Strike Back is either the name of the Akuma or Senti monster. However, the episode titles don't always just refer to the name of the villain of that episode. They can also have like a double meaning. For example, Soul Crusher, whilst it was Zoe's Akuma name, it was also kind of referring to what Chloe was doing to Zoe in that she was kind of crushing her soul. Truth and Lies, Luca wanted the truth from Marinette, Kagami knew Adrien was lying to her, Gang of Secrets, that gang of friends knew Marinette was keeping secrets from them. So whilst yeah, it does refer to the Akuma, it can refer on a bigger scale to like the whole theme of the episode. Of course it could be Strike Back in that Shadow Daddy takes a risk in Risk with who he akumatizes. It doesn't go to plan, but things get a bit dicey, so Ladybug and Cat Noir strike back on him to get the upper ground. It could mean any number of things, but I think that's possibly what happens there. I don't think he does it intentionally. I think he's just frustrated and then horrified with himself. So I think that's all I wanted to say about the trailer. There were some other scenes I missed, but I don't really have anything else to say about them further than the video I made. I am just very concerned, extremely concerned. I'm worried. However, I'm glad Gloob are giving us a bit of time to prepare. Although I feel like if they've given us 3 years to prepare, I wouldn't be ready. But anyway, I'd love to know what you think of everything I've discussed in this video today. Who do you think Catwalker is? Do you think it's Adrien? Do you think it's Felix? Do you think it's someone from the future? Do you think it's someone else entirely? Why do you think Marinette is in Adrien's bathroom crying? What has happened previously? Why is Lila hugging my son? Get your hands off him. And why do you think Shadow Daddy smashed his wife's sleeping cocoon? So I'd love to know what you thought of what I discussed in today's video, besties, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!